The real story of Sidney Sweeney. At one point in her life, Sidney Sweeney believed her dream might be destroying her family. Not metaphorically, not emotionally, literally. She was still a child when her parents' marriage began to collapse under the weight of chasing her future. Bills piled up. Tension filled every room. Nights were spent wondering whether the next audition was worth the cost. And for years, no one could tell her if it ever would be. Today, Sidney Sweeney is one of the most recognizable faces in modern Hollywood. Her performances spark debate. Her image dominates screens. Her name carries weight. But that outcome was never guaranteed. In fact, for most of her journey, success felt unlikely. This is the real story behind the fame. The years of instability. The sacrifices no one applauded, and the quiet resilience that turned struggle into success. If you appreciate real, unfiltered stories like this, the kind that go deeper than. Sidney Sweeney was born in 1997 in Spokane, Washington, and raised near the Washington-Idaho border. It wasn't a place known for producing movie stars. Life there was modest, structured, and grounded in routine. Her parents worked hard. Her family wasn't poor, but money was always tight enough to matter. Every decision had consequences. Every expense required thought. And dreams like Hollywood didn't fit naturally into that world. Sidney was a curious child. Intense, focused, observant. She paid attention to details most kids ignored. Emotions fascinated her. Human behavior fascinated her. At the age of 12, she encountered an audition notice for a film shooting nearby. For most children, it would have been a fleeting curiosity. For Sidney, it was something else. She didn't simply ask her parents if she could audition. She prepared a presentation. She created a 5-year plan. The document outlined potential career paths, financial projections, fallback options, and long-term goals. She treated acting not as a fantasy, but as a calculated risk. But because they saw how serious she was. Against their instincts and despite the obvious risks, they agreed to support her. That decision reshaped their lives. What followed was not glamour, it was disruption. Long drives to auditions replaced weekends. Savings disappeared into travel, classes, and coaching. Normal family rhythms were slowly erased. Eventually, the only way to continue was to move to Los Angeles. That move came at a cost no one fully understood at the time. Los Angeles did not welcome them. Auditions were constant, but so was rejection. Casting rooms were crowded with children who looked like Sidney, spoke like her, and often had advantages she didn't. She was told she was too intense, too serious, too emotional, not commercial enough. Each rejection chipped away at confidence. Money became a daily concern. The family lived out of hotels at times. Stability was fragile. There was always pressure to keep going because stopping meant admitting failure. And under that pressure, her parents' marriage collapsed. Sidney has spoken openly about the guilt she carried, the feeling that her dream had fractured her family. While other teenagers worried about school dances and friendships, Sidney worried about survival. She kept working. She booked small roles, minor appearances, scenes that barely registered with audiences. Criminal Minds, Grey's Anatomy, Heroes, Pretty Little Liars. Each role paid little, but each role kept her moving forward. She was learning discipline, patience, emotional control. She was learning how to lose. Hollywood rarely rewards early persistence. Most actors disappear before they ever reach relevance. Sidney came close to being one of them. In 2018, she landed a significant role in a Netflix series called Everything Sucks. The show gained attention. Viewers connected with her performance. No continuation. No payoff. Just another reminder that progress in Hollywood is temporary. She considered quitting. Instead, she changed strategy. She stopped trying to be liked. She began choosing roles that demanded vulnerability. Characters that were messy, flawed, uncomfortable. Performances that revealed insecurity rather than hiding it. That decision led her to Euphoria. Her portrayal of Cassie was divisive, emotional, painful, raw. Some viewers criticized the character, others recognized themselves in her. What mattered was this: people were talking. Not about her looks, not about her image, but about her performance. Yet fame didn't bring financial security. When she spoke about it publicly, she was criticized. People told her to be grateful, to stay quiet, to smile. She refused, because she knew how many others were living under the same illusion. Then came The White Lotus. Another complex role, another emotionally layered performance. Critics took notice. Industry perception shifted. Sidney was no longer just visible. She was respected. Offers increased, opportunities expanded. But this time, she approached success differently. She founded her own production company. Not for status, for control. She began choosing longevity over hype. Today, Sidney Sweeney stands as one of the defining actresses of her generation. But her rise wasn't fast. It wasn't easy, and it wasn't guaranteed. It was built on years of uncertainty, sacrifice, and resilience. Rags to riches is rarely about money. It's about surviving long enough to be seen. If you value stories that go beyond surface-level success, stories built on truth and persistence, make sure you're subscribed. More real journeys like this are coming. Sidney Sweeney didn't just make it, she endured.
And that made all the difference.